So whenever you teach, you want to offer concrete next action steps. It's application. You want to apply the Bible to life. James 1 says, don't just be hearers of the word, but be doers of it. Which means if we're teaching the word, we have to show people and equip them how to act on it. So the question is, how do you do good application in your messages? Now here's something I'm convinced of. Generic application gets generic results, whereas specific application gets specific results. Now let me share with you the story of how I came to this understanding of why application needs to be so specific. And I actually got here a roundabout way. I got here because a few years ago I went on this journey of really needing to be more organized. I was letting lots of to-do list items fall through the cracks. And so I had heard about this book called Getting Things Done by David Allen. And so I decided to listen to it. I listen to audiobooks a lot. And if you're familiar with Getting Things Done, this will be a familiar concept with you. And if you're not, let me introduce you to one of his main points. When you have a multi-step item on your to-do list, you will experience internal resistance to doing that thing. Right? So if you pause and look at a lot of people's to-do lists, like they have things like, I don't know, get an oil change. And his argument is actually those are projects. Anything that will require more than one step to complete is actually a project. And the only thing that should go on your to-do list are the concrete, visible, physical next actions that you need to take to move forward on those projects. So just for example, this is the one he gives a lot, it's like get an oil change, okay? How do you do that? What is the next physical, visible action you would need to take to get an oil change? You might need to call your local car place and set up an appointment. You might go to do that and realize you don't have the number. Really the first action is Google car place and look up the number and call and schedule an appointment. Now, most people, when they see the to-do list item, it's like somewhere in their subconscious mind, they know, I don't have all the pieces to do this. This is actually a multi-step process, and I'm not exactly clear on what the next step is. And as long as that's the case, you're going to experience internal resistance to actually doing that step. Whereas if you clarify what the next physical, visible action is, you are far more likely to actually do it because it's clear and you know what it is. What I realized once I started implementing this is that for years, when I got to the application section of my teaching, I was giving generic, abstract application. And so now what I do is I pause and say, okay, the application is to forgive others. What does that involve? If someone wanted to forgive someone, what are the steps that they would have to go through? Those concrete, physical, visible next actions. And I go ahead and list them out and brainstorm through them. Number one, they may need to pray about who they need to forgive. Number two, when they think of that person, they should probably list out what that person has done against them. Number three, then they should bring that list before God in prayer and say, God, this person did this, X, Y, and Z. And then say, and I choose to forgive them. Number four, they may have still these memories come back, and they'll just have to expect that, and then when that happens, just remind themselves, even say, I have chosen to forgive that person. See, all of a sudden, forgive other people becomes these 5 actions you have to take. And so what I do now, if I'm teaching on forgiveness, I say, here's the 5 steps of forgiving. And we're going to go the first 2 right now. That kind of application will not just inform people on what to do, it will help them actually do it, which is our goal in the first place. So next time you get to teach something, I want to challenge you to make your application specific. Break down that abstract idea into concrete next step actions, and then pause your message when you get to the application point and give people a chance to complete 1 or 2 of those things, and they will be much more likely to live out the truth, not just know the truth. My name is Luke Hirant. I hope this training video was helpful for you in your teaching ministry. If you need other resources or other how-to videos, you can find those at my website, makeyourmessagegreat.com. I just want to encourage you and and challenge you to create messages that change lives for good.